Hey Godly Beauties, I wanted to do this video to talk about my experience in corrections working as an LPN. I worked at Fluvanna, a correctional center. I was a little skeptical going in because I just thought about the whole field of corrections and it just didn't seem like something I really wanted to do. But after getting a feel for different fields in the nursing field, I started to become a little curious about what it would be like to work in that field, and also the pay. The pay offered was probably the highest pay I had ever made, and it was decent. I believe Fluvanna is one of the highest paying correctional centers out there. It is just women, and so I didn't have a lot of people were like, oh, don't go to corrections, and also they were saying the women are the worst ones, they're manipulative, they're this, they're that. I really did not have a negative experience with the women. Mostly I had a few who kind of talked to me a little bit aggressively, and tried to get over, so some manipulation, but it really wasn't bad. The facility was very clean. I didn't feel trapped and closed in. I could go out during my break, check my phone. I could use the phones that were in the facility. I actually enjoyed working there. The distance was the biggest issue for me because I worked the night shift, and I really just don't do so well with working the night shift and then coming off and driving long distances. I actually ended up getting into a car accident and wrecking my car because I actually fell asleep when I was on the way home, and so I had ended up having to come off the assignment, and it just wasn't working for me for that reason. But I truly enjoyed myself. Let me think. So I worked when I worked there, they rotated me into different areas. So when I would come in for my 12-hour shifts, I would, find out where I was working. Sometimes it would be diabetics. Sometimes it would be, and sometimes they'll have you working in other areas. I would say some of the buildings were the heavier med pass. The diabetics area was the easiest med pass, where you just kind of set up and then the rush comes in the morning. But you did have nurses that came from the clinic to help you because they kind of had a lot of downtime most nights. So that was great. Because some of the inmates can get a little impatient when it's time to get their meds and they're trying to make it to breakfast and work, and so you have that. I did have to go outside some of the times. It was raining. I would have to push the car outside in the rain to get across to the other part of the compound. It wasn't a big deal to me. The car can be kind of a little heavy, but it really wasn't a hard job. And especially for the pay, it would be something that I would go back and do. With the security guards, we didn't have any type of instances that I knew of when I was there where the patients rushed any of the nurses and tried to attack them or anything of that sort. I felt pretty safe. Most of the time they were locked up, but most of the time with the women I was working with, it seemed like they were just normal women. I typically tried not to get into the details of their charges because I just wanted to give the treatments without prejudice. I didn't really want to know. I'm not really that type of person where I like to hear about a lot of violent crimes or whatever the case was. So I was able to get through there without hearing about a lot of the crimes. Some of them that I heard, I didn't want to. But like I said, the security guards were there, and I didn't have any issues with anyone trying to attack me. Mainly, I just had a couple of instances where the patients got a little aggressive verbally and tried to manipulate me out of certain medications that were not owed to them in an attempt to get high and things of that nature, which I guess you would kind of expect that. There was plenty of opportunity for overtime. It wasn't a lot of micromanagement. In my opinion, you had good nurse supervisors that were there as your resource. It was just a pleasant working experience. I would go back, and I would suggest that anyone is considering working and giving corrections a try, don't go into it with fear. I would say give things a try. Don't just make up in your mind that something is scary already. Go ahead and just get the experience for yourself, because you may end up really loving it. If you're a nurse that mainly works long-term care and you're just kind of burnt out or tired, this may be a little better for you. Just as far as working in what I would say was a less stressful work environment. Some of the areas that I was in, most of the areas I was in, I was just pulling pills. There was no family members coming, physical therapy, patients, somebody falling, admissions, management, and it wasn't like I was being bombarded all day and all night with requests and things of that nature. It was just pulling pills for the morning. You're basically prepping for morning. Now I can't speak on what it was like for the day shift, but this was my experience working night. I would come in, clock in, stand in line to be checked out. You would have to pull everything out of your pockets. Then you would walk through the metal detector. Then you would be checked by the guard. You would receive your items back. Of course, you can't bring your phone. You have to leave your phone in the car. Then I would walk all the way back to the nurse's station to find out where I was. And once I found out where I was stationed, then I would begin pulling my meds, prepping for the morning shift, the early morning med pass. We didn't do treatments as far as I remember, and even nurse aides could work there, and from what I could see, it was one of the easier nurse aide positions that I've ever seen. They had maybe one or two people to change. They did the glucometers and answered lights during the night. I thought it was great for somebody who's a nurse aide and they need a break as well if they're feeling burnt out, overwhelmed. So yeah, I approve of correctional nursing. I would say give it a try. 9 times out of 10, the pay is going to be much better. You may have to drive a little distance, but don't be scared to test the waters and find out, do something different. This may be exactly what you need. And I just hope this video was helpful. Thank you. Bye.